All right, and we are live here at Astro Celebrations at the Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce's annual meeting. And I am joined by Drew Walker, who is the immediate past chairman. Welcome, Drew.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, Amanda.
Did you arrive in your DeLorean today, sir?
I believe I did. It was difficult to get out of because you're only about an inch off the ground, and being 46 years old and slightly overweight, it's hard to get out of that kind of a vehicle, but it was definitely something to get done.
And I saw you parked out front. I like your ride. Maybe
Well,
you can give me a ride home.
It's not very comfortable inside. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles you think it would.
Just looks cool.
It looks cool.
Well, Drew, as we are here now in 2024, and 2023 was such a fantastic year, I was hoping that you could highlight some of the achievements that the Chamber experienced in 2023.
We had a great year, Amanda. We had over $100 million in new economic development that was announced. We also started work on what has become the largest economic development project in Forsyth County, the largest in Atlanta, which is going to be hopefully the Gathering. We created over 300 new jobs, or helped create over 300 new jobs. We hired a director of tourism, and we really did a good job in growing revenues for the Chamber as well as doing what was good for the community.
It seems like the year flew by and you accomplished so much.
It was a blink of an eye for me.
It was the blink of an eye. So what achievement were you most proud of in 2023, Drew?
Oh, always the economic development is probably the big one. We are definitely, that's what makes this county continue to grow, and we're very excited that we were able to take part in it.
And looking ahead to 2024, what role are you going to be playing within the Chamber now as the immediate past chairman?
Well, so the best job in the world is past whatever, past president, past chairman. My job is to support our new chairman, Steve Cooper, with Cooper Company. He's our new 2024 chairman, and so I'm here to support him and do whatever he wants me to do so that his goals can be accomplished in 2024.
If we may hop into that DeLorean and travel several years back, for those who are unfamiliar with the history of the Chamber of Commerce and the lineage, wasn't your dad also a board chair at one time?
So we're flipping back to 2006 when my father was chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. It was the year that James McCoy was hired as president of the Chamber, who is our current president of the Chamber of Commerce now. And so he's going to get up and talk a little bit about what Forsyth County was back in that year. And then, of course, I will get up and talk about what is happening now. And if you listen to both speeches, you will find that it is a drastic change from where we were in 2006 all the way up to today, 2024, in terms of growth, the number of schools we have, the number of people in the community. And a lot of what's happened today was the thought process of where we wanted to be was back in 2006 when James came on board. So that's why we're zipping back to that time. It just so happens to be that my father was chairman of the Chamber of Commerce at that time.
Now, is Back to the Future your favorite movie by chance?
No, it's a good movie. I enjoyed every single minute of it, but I'm more of a Star Trek and Star Wars fan myself.
Drew, what would you say has been the most rewarding thing since you have been a part of the Chamber of Commerce? Obviously, you've been around it since 2006, so you've got 18 years of growth that you were able to kind of observe. What has been the most rewarding thing that you have seen? I've
been on the board of the Chamber in one capacity or the other for about 15 years, and it is a humbling experience to be able to be a person that gets to volunteer their time to help the community overall. This is definitely something of what you put in is what you get out of it. And the people that work at the Chamber, the staff that's there, they wake up in the morning and they go to sleep at night thinking about what can we do to make our community better and what can we do to make it business friendly so our businesses can grow and thrive. And being able to be a part of that and trying to cultivate that as the Chamber has been very rewarding for me throughout these years. But I've been on this for a very, very long time, and it's time for me to step back and let young blood come in and do young, new ideas, bright things, new ideas. And so I'm glad to see guys like Steve and all of the members of the executive committee, which are all new, to come in and talk about our future.
Very exciting. I do just want to plug the Gathering, as you just mentioned it. Foco Talks, Alex Warner, and David McGee, along with James, just recently did a show which is available for you guys to find wherever you enjoy your podcasts, and it is talking about that project, The Gathering. Drew, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners before we release you back to the event?
Nope. I hope everybody has a great weekend.
Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
And welcome back, folks. Amanda Pierce-Marmolejo here, broadcasting live from the Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce's annual meeting. And I am joined by our 2024 board chair, Mr. Steve Cooper. How are you today, sir?
Great. Pleasure to be here today.
We are in a room that is just out of this world, wouldn't you say?
A lot of folks are here today for this great event that's about to happen in just a few moments.
Just a few moments, and I know you have a large part in this event, so we won't keep you long. Steve, I wanted to congratulate you first and foremost for your role as board chair. I know that great things are in store for 2024. What are you looking ahead to this year, and what priorities does the Chamber have for 2024?
First of all, my directive is very simple: promote positive business enterprise for the citizens of Forsyth County. Whatever that encapsulates, that's what we're going to do. Also, make sure that Forsyth County stays a better place to live. Have a great culture. As far as my personal goals, we are going to have 1,000 members by the end of next year, and just spread the word about what a great business opportunity the Chamber is for everybody. Our biggest faction we're trying to achieve is, I know everyone's heard about the gathering. We got a lot of hard work to make that happen, but it's all hands on deck to ensure the gathering takes place for Forsyth County.
That's a really exciting project. Being that you're the president of Cooper & Company General Contractors, I bet you have a pulse on a lot of the development in the area.
So we're very blessed and fortunate to be involved with a lot of the community in the area, which leads to business in the area. All the different subcontractors, politicians, other businesses, it all comes together. We try to keep our business within Forsyth County.
Well, tell me one of your personal initiatives that you're looking forward to, outside of growing the Chamber by 1,000 members.
I think I said this earlier. My main goal is to just be able to speak and meet everybody without saying anything to mess me up this year. I was telling someone earlier that they asked me what my biggest fear was, and I said, well, I'm a good old country boy. I think my biggest fear is letting that redneck come out every once in a while.
And anybody that knows Steve Cooper knows that he enjoys the smell of dirt and diesel, and you can catch him in some Carhartts after hours, though.
Every Saturday.
Hey, Steve, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners before we say sayonara?
No, I just want to thank Forsyth Business RadioX for this opportunity. Y'all keep doing a great job. Thank you.
And we thank you for your partnership. We'll be back. All right, Amanda Pierce-Marmolejo, broadcasting live from the Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce's annual meeting. I am joined right now by Mr. Brett Russell, and he is with the ALG Landscaping Group. How are you today, Brett?
We're good. How are you?
Doing well. It's so exciting to be here in this room with all these professionals and all these props.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a pleasure to be here and see everybody that you typically don't get to see sometimes throughout the year.
That is true. And you are actually a proud sponsor of this event. I saw your logo on the screen, so thank you so much for your support and your involvement with the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite events because, again, being able to get together with everybody, this is what we're here for.
Priceless. For those listening that might not be familiar with you as you're a local sensation, I see your trucks driving all the time. Tell them what Atlanta Landscape Group is all about.
So we completely have been reimagining who we are, giving a lot of thought on that, and what we've came out and been built on is relationships. At the end of the day, we may be a company that does landscape, but what we target and prioritize is people. So it's the service industry at the end of the day, and we prioritize and target people as the priority for us, building those relationships, being a true partner for all landscape needs, whether that's maintenance or installation. At the end of the day, landscape is landscape, but we're going to be the partner in that.
And you do a great job. Again, I mentioned that I see your trucks, but I also see you out in the community and your team as well. So I tip my hat to you.
All right.
Being that you are a proponent of workforce and the collaboration of, can you share how Atlanta Landscape Group has benefited from being a part of that collaborative?
Yeah, so it's important to us to be involved in the community and to see what the needs of that community is. It's not necessarily about what value does that bring to us. at the end of the day, there will be value there, but what can we bring to the table for the community? And the involvement in that workforce, in today's time, that has been one of the biggest struggles for many businesses, not just us. So it's important for us to bring our feedback to the table and learn what is going on inside of the community, so that way we can figure out how to best help the community and make sure that everybody has opportunities to get jobs and to find work. And for the people who are struggling doing that, well, what are the tools that they need to be able to get a job? Because at the end of the day, we're trying to fight and make sure that everybody has that opportunity.
It's such an important topic, and I'm so glad that you're excited to help prepare the next generation. I know that you have a daughter, right?
Yes.
So
she's a wild one.
A wild one. Investing in the future of our community is something that's important to you, not only for yourself, but also for your child.
Right. Exactly.
So tell me about the Atlanta Landscape Group has been a part of this specific meeting for a long time. Can you share why this is so important to you?
So I keep going back to community and to the people involved, and for this and being here today and being a part of this specific event and this meeting, it's very important to be involved. And a lot of people say, or they might be a part of organizations, or they might be living in a community, but if you're not being intentional about it, if you're not showing up and being a part of it and being truly involved and engaged, then you're not necessarily helping your community. You have to be engaged and intentional about helping your community.
Intentionality. What do you foresee for 2024? I know we're in Q1, so what do you see as we are here in Back to the Future? We're going to go back to the future, but future, really.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're looking forward to in 2024.
So what I'm looking forward to is it's another year away from everything that happened with the pandemic. And I feel that each year that we kind of get away from that, we still have some residual effects, and it's about getting back to the people, getting involved, building businesses, networking, and getting out there and communicating and spending time with each other in a collaborative way with the community. So I see a lot of growth, I see a lot of excitement, and a lot of change in the tools that allow us to be able to do those.
Well, I am a proponent for you guys at ALG, and I thank you again for joining us today. For those who are curious to learn more about what you do or possibly your scope of services, how can they reach you guys, or where can they find you on the web?
So if you just go on the web and do alg.llc, that is our new website, and our general information email is info@alg.llc. So it's pretty simple.
Very easy.
You do that, and there's some forms on there. You can just submit some questions, and it'll go right to our information email, and easy to contact.
Then you'll be connected. Well, thank you, Brett, so much for your investment in the Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce, as well as our community, and for joining us on Business Radio X. We'll see you in the event.
All right. Thank you.
All right, and welcome back to the Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce's annual meeting. I am joined here by the General Manager of Astro Celebrations, Kunal Brumbut. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you.
We are excited to be here in your gorgeous facility. It is amazing what you can do in maneuvering this space. I have had the great pleasure of attending a lot of them here. Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell our listeners who might have never been what you guys do?
Yeah. So first of all, we're new to the area here in Cumming, and a lot of people have stated to us that this was needed. So we're an event hall. We handle all different types of events, from weddings to birthdays, corporate events like this one, chamber events specifically. Being election year this year, we have a lot of interest from campaigns for fundraising. And again, just being in this South Forsyth, South Cumming demographic, it's a great area for all of us to reach. So again, we do a lot of weddings, birthdays, different types of celebrations. Pretty much any milestone you could think of that anyone wants to have a celebration for, they can have it here. And the nice thing about the space is that it's versatile, right? It's customizable, like we like to say. So is our price. So we'll offer a customized price based on details of your event. Our space does break down into smaller sections, so it allows people to kind of, make it fit to their needs.
How many square feet are we seated in total?
So currently where we're seated, this ballroom is around 6,500 square feet. With the lobby space, it's 7,000. And then when you add in the 2 patios, the green rooms, and then the garden outside, which I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out
I
yet.
haven't seen it.
Okay, so
I
we'll
have
take
it
a tour of that.
springtime.
Oh, it's beautiful. You have to check it out. And that's the thing, we try not to post too many pictures of the garden on social media purposely, because we want people to come and see it, because it really doesn't do it justice seeing it in a picture. So coming, setting your eyes on it, being able to visualize your own event here kind of helps in that whole planning process, deciding on venues, all of that. So
How long have you been in the event business?
So I would say my whole life. I mean, just some background. My dad, he was a DJ when I grew up. So in my entire life, he was always doing like people's weddings and birthdays and same sort of stuff I'm doing here. He was an entertainer, so he did live singing, and he's a musician, so he did that his whole life. So for me, we'd always tag along, help him wire up his speakers, clean up his equipment, just basically be his little helpers at these gigs. And kind of developed a sense of home at these sort of events, like knowing the vendors, knowing the background, seeing the behind the scenes, seeing the setup of the events. It was like a different side of things rather than just attending a party, which we do a lot of as well.
Right.
I mean, just people in my community have parties for anything. So just growing up in that atmosphere just kind of helped prepare me on this side of my career. I started off in hospitality, kind of on another side, which was basically like hotels, banquet rooms, ballrooms. So a little bit different than this, but almost the same, of course. Still in the hospitality side, just a different side of it, right? Adjacent side that has more to do with just space rather rooms and all that. So.
And that's eliminating the headache, if you ask me, eliminating the rooms portion out of the event space.
Absolutely. But, it does play a role, and we do have plans, in the future. We do have a couple of acres right here next to us that we own as well. Right now we've used for a couple of different things. We had a Triscape's 20 or 30th anniversary party here for their company, and they set up some tractors out there. They set up bouncy houses, some like hot dog stands, and turned it into an outdoor area for an event.
Yes.
And as well as use the inside space for dinner reception. So again, a very versatile space. A lot of different people can use it for different things. We had a bride and groom land a helicopter in that field and then did an entrance into our garden. So
talk about a grand entrance.
Oh, it was a grand entrance. And that's the thing. This is a private space. It's separated. We don't share a parking lot with anybody. So for us, if you want a private space away from people, you don't want to necessarily have lingerers or wedding crashers per se, then this is the perfect space for you.
Wedding crashing happens in real life?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I've seen it. It may not be the way you'd expect, but, people, I tell you, we'll have events going on, and people will see that. They'll recognize that. They'll walk through the front doors and start asking about what dates are available. Do you have time to give us a tour? And I'm like...
Absolutely.
Read the room is a thing. Can you take a look? But we can definitely set up a time
after we
for
cut
you.
The cake.
Yeah, it's like we can definitely set a time for you and have you come by. And I think people just don't realize how busy we actually are. I mean, between me and my sales manager, it's pretty much a two-man team, other than our staff that works the events. So we're trying to get back to everybody that reaches out. I mean, we have such a huge amount of leads that come in that it's just. It's a lot to keep up with, but we do our best, and all of our clients are happy, and they're all planning their special days, so that's what it's about.
Well, I know that the Chamber of Commerce is an enthusiastic partner and supporter of you guys, and as I mentioned, I've had many parties here, so you guys know how to host a good time.
Absolutely.
You mentioned vendors earlier, and today we're joined by Tam's Backstage, and I know that they have amazing food. Chicken Brine is my absolute favorite. Talk about your relationship with vendors. Is it exclusive? Or people, if I were a caterer, how would I get on your vendor list, or how could I do business with you?
Absolutely. So right now, again, we're newer to the area, newer to the demographic here. So we like to allow people to bring their own caterers. They're also allowed to bring their own alcohol. We do provide the bars for that, the bartenders, and the glassware, ice, all of that stuff. As far as caterers go, we allow you to bring your caterer, but it has to be a fully licensed caterer, just like Tam's. They're great. They've been here a couple of times. They have great food. So, again, we've added them to our vendors list, and that's pretty much the only qualification, really, is come in and do an event We see how you work with our staff, interact with our space, how you respect it, and then we'll add you to our list and we'll recommend you out. The thing is, we've dealt with, I'd say 50 plus different caterers in the last year, and we probably only have a list of about 8. So, that should tell you right there. As long as you come correct, in a sense, you treat the space with respect and the staff, and we all work well together, we don't mind recommending you out, because then we know we're going to have no problems.
Very nice. Well, I'm excited for the rest of 2024. I know that you're going to be doing wonderful things. Share with our listeners how they can get in touch with you or where they can find you guys online if they're interested in hosting an event.
Definitely. So we have a couple of ways. The best and quickest way to get a response will be to go to our website at astrocelebrations.com. You'll see an icon to book a tour. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have to book a tour, you're not obligated to, but it kind of gives us a chance to get your information, get the dates you're looking for, and as much information as you can provide about your event, because again, we offer customized pricing, so it kind of helps give us a starting point, so when we do set that tour, you can come in, we can discuss more details about your event, and then offer you a customized price via proposal. So everything is black and white, you have everything right in front of you, and pretty easy decision once you see the space.
Straightforward. I like that in a business. Well, thank you, Kunal, for joining us today here at the Great Scott event. I am Amanda Pirch Marmolejo, broadcasting live from the Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce's annual meeting with Forsyth County Business RadioX. Big thanks to Astro Celebrations for hosting us. Give them a like on social media.
Please do.
And please come by and see Kunal and his team. And we'll be back, folks. I am joined by Daniel Huang, and he is the owner and founder of 25 Marketing. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
It is an exciting day today. We are at Astro Celebrations here in Cumming, Georgia, and I see DeLoreans and alarm clocks all over the room. The sign says it's Back to the Future. What do you think we're in store for today, Daniel?
Yeah, when I think about Back to the Future, I always think about those Nike light-up shoes.
Yes.
Yeah, those are nice.
Those are back to the future. Daniel, tell our listeners who might not know what you do a little bit about your company.
Yeah, so I have a company called 25 Marketing, and I mainly focus on video content creation and websites basically for e-commerce. So I specialize in that now.
You have a wonderful portfolio of clients that you've worked with. I am an admirer of yours on social media. You're here today with your camera, and I think you're going to get some shots. Tell us what a day in the life of a content creator is like.
Yeah, so a day in the life as a content creator, it's never the same. You always have to constantly think of new ideas. So every day, I usually try to make a list of content ideas and schedule that out through the day. But I have to get inspiration somehow, so I go to the gym in the morning, and that's a way I like to strategize in the sauna, my favorite place, and yeah, that's basically the start.
So as a creator and an entrepreneur, you have your hand in a lot of things. And I noticed here recently that you kind of branched out and you're doing some auto detailing. That's exciting.
Yeah. So
tell me about that journey.
So I really had the idea of starting an auto detailing company because I really like to keep my car clean. And I found another hobby on the side of cleaning my friend's car, my family's car, and they were like, wow, you're doing a really good job. So I was like, why not do this for other people, help them, and it gives me the satisfaction of helping others through car detailing. But that was one avenue I wanted to add on to my life.
Very nice. So you have 2 companies that you run and you own and you operate. And tell me what you foresee for 2024. We're just here in Q1.
Yeah, for 2024, I love to meet as much people and make an impact on lots of people's lives in my community and make a change for the better in 2024.
I love that. Well, you are in the right place today, my friend, because we are going to have over 200 attendees here at this Forsyth County Chamber event. And for those of you listening, this event is sponsored by Northside Hospital Forsyth, and Business RadioX is happy to be the media sponsor today. And Daniel, share with our listeners how they can find you online or get in touch with you in case someone's curious.
You can go to 25marketing.com. It's with the alphabets, or you could reach me at 404-775-5719.
Thanks for joining us, Daniel, and we'll be back. All right, and welcome back to the Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce's annual meeting. Here, broadcasting from Astro Celebrations, I'd like to welcome to the show Cameron Marmolejo, who is the CEO of Imagination Construction. Cameron, really quickly, for those who are unfamiliar with Imagination Construction, you guys are a general contracting company with a focus on residential. Just kind of give us the depth, breadth, and vision.
Absolutely. Thank you. So really quickly, I'll just tell you about a couple of projects we have going on right now. One is a restoral of a home. A tree fell on this home, 1950s home in Decatur, or Avondale Estates, rather, that created a tremendous amount of damage. This brick ranch home had its brick facade ripped off. Water came into the home. Mold then developed. We had to gut everything out, and now we're in the process of building it back. Another job we're working on in Peachtree Corners. They have a water issue in their garage, and they're not quite sure what the issue is. Those are just two projects that we're working on right now that we're really excited about. The best way to get a hold of me is probably facebook.com/Imagination Construction or imaginationconstructionllc.com.
All right, Cameron, thanks so much for sharing in the excitement with us today at this event. I look forward to following you and the success of your company. We'll be back. All right, and as the event concludes, what an exciting time we shared together with all of our chamber members and community members. 2024 is most certainly going to be a monumental year for this county. Joined by Chris Thomas, who is the founder of Yonder Agency. If you haven't heard about him, you're going to hear about him. They have one of the coolest vibes and coolest logos and mascots that I've ever seen. Is this a Sasquatch, Chris?
It's actually Teddy the Yeti.
Teddy the Yeti, okay.
We do have a shirt coming out, since it's political season right now. We're doing Yeti Bigfoot 2024.
I love it.
So
that goes against not only elections, but also the Stanley.
That's right.
Because we're all for the Yetis.
Yeah, I know. It's tough, so.
I'm going to say this, and I mean this in the most loving way, but has anybody ever told you that the character resembles you?
Yes, so I didn't realize that. So I did the sponsor of the 5K for Forsyth last year, and I have a 7-foot cutout of the Yeti that, people take pictures with. And I looked at it, and I was like, that's my face. So I called my buddy, because I do design and brand, but I didn't want to brand myself. Mm-hmm. So I called my buddy. I was like, did you use my face for the Yeti? And he's like, dude, you look like one. And I was like, well, all right. Well, that's fair. It's fair.
So it is.
Yeah. So
amazing. I like it how his little bill on his hat is even flipped up.
Yeah.
Our listeners can't see that, but you'll just have to go to yonderagency.com to see what I'm talking about. Chris, I got so lost in the awesome. Tell our listeners a little bit about your agency and what you guys do.
Yeah, so about 5 years ago, I was a corporate guy, global head of product development and marketing for Fortune 100 company. Got tired of wearing a suit and traded in for a trucker hat and some Jordans. And so what we do is, I've worked with Apple, LG, Nike, Coke, and everything that they were using for marketing and product development and how to sell their products. Really, the small, medium business can use the same thing, and they just don't know that. And so what I did was brought it to a small town where it's we had 12 restaurants, and it's hard to believe that I've been doing this 5 years now, but it's nuts. We started the day the world shut down with the pandemic.
Yes.
So I had to switch. We were supposed to be a product development company building apps and stuff, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to help all these folks that are struggling to get online. And we had 12 restaurants that we helped with online ordering and all of that kind of stuff. And then I was like, well, this seems fun. I love hanging out with people. I'm actually an introvert by nature, which is kind of, I don't like people.
I can't tell.
Yeah, but it's like a switch. And I was like, I like this. This is kind of fun. And so we do full service. So if you haven't updated your website since the early 2010s, you notice people are talking, somebody asked me the other day, they're like, you lived through the mid to late 1900s, right? I went,
the 90s, yes.
I'm like, you mean, yeah. I was
the
like,
90s?
Yeah. And I was like, yes. And they're like, what was that like? I'm like, well, electricity was just brand new. And I was like, God, what, is that what we're living in now?
To the naive.
Yeah. So if you're out there and you lived through the late 1900s, reach out.
Reach out.
Even if you survive the 2000s, it's fine. But yeah. So we do everything from building websites to lead generation to running ads. SEO is kind of like a curse word where people is like, what is SEO? So it's like search engine optimization, making sure when people type in like construction or type in the chamber or whatever, and actually Yonder's about to help the chamber build their website, and yeah, it's great.
I saw you in the chamber meeting room having a top secret meeting. It must have been that. You're rebuilding the website.
Yes. Yeah.
Breaking news.
I know, it's breaking. It's coming out hopefully by the summer, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so yeah, Yonder has just been something that's, I never thought I'd be a founder of a company or anything, and now
you're a founder of Yonder.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do you remember that song, Way Down Yonder on the Chattahoochee?
Yeah, a lot of people get that, and they're folks out west, they're like, so what is your name again? I'm like, Yonder, and they're like what does that mean?
Over
like,
yonder.
Yeah, and I tell them that, they're like, oh yeah, they're like, there's that country movie, and I'm like, so yeah, it doesn't translate for everybody, but when they get it,
for those that resonate with it, those are your people.
And everybody sees the Yeti and the Bigfoot and the Sasquatch, and the reason why, yeah.
Let me see your kicks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got the shoes that match the sticker too.
Yeah.
Talk about living your brand.
You can't really have Jordans without your brand. It's
this is true. I like it.
I got a little custom thing.
Tell me what you're most looking forward to in 2024, Chris.
Really just helping, there's a lot of fun projects coming around, but really just helping folks. Really, Google has changed a lot of stuff with marketing and educating folks. We're doing some retreats where folks come to be determined where, but we're doing retreats where for a couple of days we go through and we're calling it Frontier Weekends, where we sit down with you and we figure out what your business is doing and what's the cost per acquisition. When's the last time you updated your website? Do people know what you do when they go to your website? Do you even know how to talk to folks at a networking event like this, like really quickly, where you're not, boring people? Yeah, exactly. Because the reason why we have the Yeti is just it's a better opener than I'm a digital marketing. It's like, what do your customers and Yetis have in common? They're out there, but you have the hardest time finding it.
Oh, gosh, that's good.
And so that's where, we come in. We help you find your customers. And really that weekend is focusing on the target market and really, we're trying to decide if we can build the website over that weekend or help you with a sales funnel. Not like a crazy sales funnel, but like a natural pipeline where, hey, how much does it cost you to get a new customer? And because a lot of people just throw money at ads and they don't even know how to track it and figure out what channel they came through.
Right. I love that. CTR, all that stuff. You're speaking my language. Chris, I'm excited to learn more about what you guys do. I think you and I have a podcast scheduled here in the near future.
Oh, yeah.
I want to thank you for joining us today. And is there anything you'd like to share with our listeners before we sign off?
Yeah, so we actually have an offering right now. It's called the Frontier Navigator, where literally I sit with you for 30 days. You don't spend really any money on ads or a new website or anything. And it ranges between $2,500 to $5,000. Where literally I give you a navigator, literally a trail map of what you should do for the next 6 months with your business. Whether it's like, hey, your website's fine, but you really need to focus on ads, or your ads are okay, but let's figure out how to optimize it. And so before we even step foot into because, I'm here to guide, not really divide you from different agencies, but a lot of agencies want to just jump in and say, you need a new website. And sometimes it's just tweaking what the call to action is. And we're we don't care what platform your website's on. We don't care what, it's just a matter of how you get sales and how do you get people to pay attention.
Love it, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing your passion with our listeners. And I can't wait to enjoy some TAMs with you here in just a moment. Chris Thomas, folks, from Yonder Agency. Broadcasting live for the Forsyth County Chamber of Commerce annual meeting. I am Amanda Pierce-Marmolejo, and we will see you next year.